Hello, my friends. Meanwhile, as negotiations continue, talks that could take months before yielding the first real steps toward ending the war, intense fighting on the front lines remains at its peak. The longer this war drags on, the more destruction it brings to Ukrainian territory. And based on the latest news, it seems that Russia has no intention of paying for the damage it has caused. Now, thanks to the US, Russia has been positioned as a winner in this war. Now, let's move on to the situation at the border. In the Kursk direction, the situation has stabilized despite Russian forces launching up to 20 assaults per day. The front line remains unchanged with no new breakthroughs on the Russian side. Ukrainian forces continue to hold the defense, though maintaining it requires significant resources. The pressure from Russian troops is immense as they attempt to push into Sumy region to establish a so-called buffer zone, as Putin has stated. In the Belgorod direction, the situation is unfolding in an interesting way. There are ongoing shelling attacks on Sumy region, but there have been no official reports of Ukrainian forces advancing into Russian territory. However, if we look at geolocation maps, several settlements have been highlighted where, according to Russian claims, Ukrainian forces have established positions. This includes Prelysye, Grafovka, and Demidovka. We're waiting for official confirmation, but I believe that if Ukrainian troops were making rapid progress into Russian territory, it wouldn't just be Russian sources talking about it. So for now, we wait for further updates. In the Kharkiv direction, we can say there is a lull. The Russians haven't launched any new attacks, and their battles in Vovchansk haven't led to any successes. Over the past day, the front line has remained unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, Russian forces are attempting to encircle the city, having stretched the front line to Malashapkivka. Now they are trying to straighten it by storming Holubivka. The situation is difficult, but so far Ukrainian forces have managed to repel the attacks. Meanwhile, to the south, Russian troops are pushing forward from the village of Pishchane, also attempting to get closer to Kupiansk, but they haven't achieved any success. In the Borova direction, fighting continues around Boguslavka, and Russian forces are also storming Kopanki. Over the past day, there have been no changes, and the situation remains stable. To the south, after the Russian breakthrough to Druzhelyubivka, no new attacks have been recorded, and the front line has remained unchanged. In the Lyman direction, attacks continue on Новомихайлівка, Липове, Зелена Долиня, Kolodязі, Ямполівка, and Зарічне. There have been no changes over the past day, but activity remains extremely high and the risk of a breakthrough persists. In the Siversk direction, Russian forces are storming Bilogorivka, attempting to break through from Ivano-Daryevka and Rozdolivka. However, no changes have been recorded over the past day, and activity remains low with only a few assaults per day. In the Chasiv Yar direction, Russian troops continue their attacks in the central part of the city and are storming Pretechene. The Ukrainian forces report that despite a decrease in activity, the situation remains critical. The Russians are advancing meter by meter, pushing further with each assault. In the near future, a tactical retreat to more advantageous defensive positions may be necessary as continues. Shelling has left current positions heavily damaged, making defense increasingly difficult. In the Toretsk area, Russian forces are conducting up to 20 assaults per day, attempting to advance into Toretsk, break through near Dachne towards Delivka, and push forward from Druzhba. However, there have been no changes in the past day, and for now, Ukrainian forces are successfully repelling all attacks. Unfortunately, there are no reports of new Ukrainian advances. It appears that counterattacks have also stalled, with Ukrainian forces reporting that the momentum is shifting back in Russia's favor. Heavy fighting continues, with the Russians bringing in reinforcements and clearing areas where Ukrainian troops had previously gained ground. Additionally, Russian forces are advancing northward through Dachne towards Delivka. Their next objectives, according to their plans, include Bilahora and a gradual push toward Kostantinivka, which their commanders frequently discuss as key targets. In the Pokrovsk direction, Russian forces continue heavy shelling, once again striking Dobropilya. At the same time, they're attacking Udachne, Lysivka, and Yelizavetivka, while also attempting to break through towards Alexandropol through open fields. However, no changes have been recorded on the front line over the past day, and Ukrainian forces are holding their defensive positions. As seen before, Russian forces haven't been able to encircle Pokrovsk. In the Kurakhove direction, Russian forces are storming Preobrazhenka, breaking through in the Toretsk area, and attacking Konstantinopel and Rozliv. The situation here remains extremely difficult, and Ukrainian forces on the ground report that they may soon have to retreat to more favorable positions due to the overwhelming Russian pressure. The Russians are pushing toward the border of Donetsk region at any cost. However, no changes have been recorded over the past day, and intense fighting continues. In the Velyka Novosilka direction, Russian forces are attempting to break through near Dniproenergia, Previlne, and Novosilka with continuous shelling in the area. However, Russian advances have stalled here, and no territorial changes have been recorded in the past day. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, Russian forces continue shelling without launching offensive actions. Over the past day, the situation has remained unchanged. Meanwhile, geolocation footage from March 18 has surfaced showing the destruction of a Russian Grad rocket system. It appears that Ukrainian forces are working to weaken the Russians here, but no significant activity has been recorded based on geolocation data. In the Kherson direction, Russian forces attempted once again to break through on the islands. Ukrainian forces successfully repelled them, and no changes have been recorded over the past day. However, the shelling of the right bank continues at the same intensity as before. Meanwhile, as Russian forces attempt to advance along the entire front line and even try to create a buffer zone at the border, Vitkov has decided to claim that Russia has no intention of capturing Ukraine. First of all, why would they need to absorb Ukraine? For what purpose? They don't need to absorb Ukraine. That would be like the occupation of Gaza. Do Israelis want to occupy Gaza for the rest of their lives? They don't. They want stability. But the Russians also have what they want. They got it. They took back those 5 regions. They have Crimea. They achieved what they wanted. So why would they need more? As we can see, the US has its own understanding of the situation. Friends, be sure to share your opinions in the comments. Meanwhile, Hungary has issued demands to Ukraine. Hungary will block Ukraine's path to the European Union until it restores language rights for Transcarpathian Hungarians, said Petr Szijjártó. The Hungarian foreign minister stated that the rights of the Hungarian community in the Zakarpattia region are being systematically violated. Despite constant promises and kind words from the Ukrainian government, minority rights that were taken away from the Hungarian community in 2015 haven't been restored. This is unacceptable and completely contradicts European norms and values. As long as this unfortunate situation persists, there can be no progress in Ukraine's European Union accession negotiations, the minister wrote on Facebook. And that's all for me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.